I love you guys. I can't wait to hang soon. I am jumping right into a Jesus story from the Gospel of Mark. And I want this time to be spiritual. I want this time to matter. So if you haven't yet, pause this video right now and pray. Ask the Spirit of God to do what only God can do and show up. I'll even hold a funny face for 3 seconds so you can pause it on something goofy. Okay. All right, you unpaused it, you've prayed, we're ready to go. Let me start. Mark chapter 1, verse 40 says this. A man with leprosy came to Jesus, and begged him on his knees, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus was moved with compassion. He reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. One, Jesus touched the man. Jesus didn't have to touch the man. He could have just called out from a distance, "You are healed." Actually, just stay where you are, leper. Don't come close. I'll heal you from there. You are healed. Okay, Jesus could have easily done that. Okay, and on top of that, Jesus touched the man before he healed him. He put his hand on the man. And then he said, "I am willing," while his hand was resting on this leper. Plenty of time for a leprosy to transmit. And I think this is a big deal because of this. This man hasn't been touched in years. And since the day that his wife noticed that first sore, there hasn't been a hug and there hasn't been a handshake. This man has been deprived of physical human contact. And when you go an extended period of time without physical human contact, your soul actually begins to shrivel. Scientists today tell us that loving physical human contact causes the brain to produce incredible amounts of dopamine and serotonin, which are two neurotransmitters that are just absolutely the number one combatants for depression and for anxiety. This man's brain has been deprived of those for years. And so no doubt about it, Jesus, he perceives that this man's needs are deeper than a physical healing. This man needed to be touched. So Jesus heals him with words, but loves him with a physical touch. Jesus is so good. The second thing I want to notice was this. The healing was the result of Jesus being moved with compassion. Okay, why did Jesus heal this man? The why that Jesus healed this man is everything. Because Jesus is not just inviting you to do what he does. He's not just inviting you to go where he goes. He's not just hoping that you'll mimic him. Jesus is inviting you to share in his why. The why behind everything. So the why matters so much. And look, this is a really cool story to illustrate this. There was a really important study done a while ago at Princeton Theological Seminary. A group of divinity students that studied at Princeton were told that they were gonna give a practice sermon, and they were each given a sermon topic. Half of the students were given as the topic the parable of the Good Samaritan, this story about compassionate action. You know, the man who stopped to help a stranger in need by the side of the road. And then the other half of these Princeton students were given random Bible topics. And then, one by one, they were told they had to go to another building to practice and give their sermon. As they went from the first building to the second building, each of them passed a man who was bent over and moaning, clearly in need. And the question was, were they going to stop to help? Did it matter if they were contemplating the parable of the Good Samaritan? They had the story of the Good Samaritan in mind as they passed this person who was hurting. Did that increase their likelihood to stop and help? And the answer was no, not at all. It had much less to do with the what was in their mind and had much more to do with the why. The what of compassion and the story Jesus had told that they were thinking about made no difference. So Jesus healed this man. Jesus touched this leper. Jesus went there and he did that because he was moved with compassion. Mark is very clear that Jesus did this because he was moved with compassion. Jesus did not heal this man because he wanted to prove to others that he was God. Jesus did not heal this man because He just thought it was the right thing to do, or he was following some moral law. Jesus did not heal this man just because he didn't want to catch leprosy. He did not heal this man to appease his own discomfort. Jesus did not heal this man so that word could spread about his powers faster. In fact, he told this man to not tell anybody. Actually, if you read the next couple of verses, Jesus did not heal this man because he was interested in starting a healing business. No, Mark is very clear that Jesus healed this man because he was moved with compassion. That was his why, being moved with compassion. So here's the deal. We all kind of have a vague idea for what compassion is, right? It's being with passion for somebody. There's a feeling that someone else is feeling. But here, social neuroscientists have actually found out something really cool about compassion, okay? Because compassion happens when two people kind of meet in a place in time, in a space in time. It transcends physicality. The circuitry in two people's brains activate when you're interacting. They work like Wi-Fi signals. Their mirror neurons are both emitting this signal, and we connect and we kind of join networks. It's almost like we're being paired, like Bluetooth devices. So we feel with somebody automatically. We wired for it. Their emotions, their pains, their hurts. You begin to feel what they feel. You become part of a web with another, and it's how we're wired. And that's compassion. You're moved to do something about it. So with that picture in your head, okay, of being Bluetooth linked to another person's experience, their pain or their joy or whatever, listen to part of Jesus' final prayer before he was arrested and led to his death. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. I in them and you in me, that they may be brought to complete unity, that they might experience that connectedness that they were meant to do. Listen, that they may be one as we are one. Jesus is saying, this was the reason for everything I have done. It's my why. Behind everything Jesus did was the exact same why. To restore the unity and the oneness of all creation. See, look, God has existed for all of time as a community of persons who live perfectly as one. Okay? We are an expression of that nature. We are meant to enjoy and know the unity and the oneness of that community, of the God community, that interdependence. Now, humanity messed it up. They rejected that unity. Instead, we forged a path of independence, a path of I'll go my way, I'll do my thing, you do you, I do me. But Jesus here is reminding us that everything he's done, his why is that compassion. It's restoring the Bluetooth connection that we all have as humans. And Jesus says, that's my why. Compassion is my why. And it's so important because Jesus is inviting you to share in his why. Jesus is offering to give you the spirit that was inside of him that powered his why. I've given you a lot to discuss, hopefully, but before you do, let me just challenge you to consider doing one thing. And there's no pressure here, okay, because I know we're not all in the same place spiritually, and not all of us are ready for this. Some of us are just still really wondering about who Jesus is, or if it's something you want to get on board with. And we're here for you, we love you. But some of us, you're ready to receive this challenge, so I'm gonna say it. Okay? Make Jesus the Lord of your life. Invite him to have his way completely in you, to have say over your entire being. Follow him, not just in doing what he did and going where he went and saying what he said, but join Jesus in his why.